Hi, this is video blog number 3. It's the morning of July 17th, 2019, and the last two blog entries I was going through some of my childhood artwork that I have found in these folders, saved by my mother in the early 1970s, and this is the third and last one, although I know I have a bunch of boxes of my attempts to do my own comic books from 3rd and 4th and 5th grade, and I can find those later and show you those. This here, let me see. Okay, this looks more like 1st grade. And here's my cat Pete investigating again. Let's see what we've got here. Wow, this is a pretty spectacular effort. It looks like a giant, let's get off of that, Pete. A giant poster, and it appears to be a Civil War. Here, hold on 1 minute while I move some things around. Okay. Alright, so it looks like, I don't think this was a school project. This looks like something I was doing for fun. It says, Men in the War, Civil War. So, I guess that's me. That would be my brother Mike, Happy Face, and Dum Dum. So, it looks like we have lots of scenes of cannon fire and destruction. Here's a burning building, lots of explosions, cannon fire. So probably, if I framed this and put it in an outsider art exhibition, I think. Hold on, move back, Pete. How dare you? Move back, Pete. Pete. No, Pete. You can't go onto this masterpiece. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got a hot air balloon being shot by this cannon. Hot air balloons. I think in 1st grade, which would have been 1971, which is, I guess, when I did this, I was really into the Civil War. I think I had I have a Civil War playset, still do. Let's see. Okay, so we've got Daniel Boone. And that was a television show from the 60s, but it was airing in reruns in 1971 on the Armed Forces TV channel at the time. My family was living in Germany, Heidelberg, Germany. My father was in the Army. So I remember watching that show. Hi, I'm Moby Dick. Okay. Pete is really interested in what's going on here today. Hi, I'm Moby Dick. Another illustration of Moby Dick. This looks like an attempt to create a calendar, February. And more illustrations on the back. And it looks like an early attempt to learn numbers. That looks like my mother's handwriting. What? This is stuff I have not seen in well over 40 years. That must be a self-portrait. These are surfing mice. How about that? Now, in 1971, that was the early years of my fascination with monsters. after discovering Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine on the rack and desperately wanting to buy copies of it, I became obsessed with monsters, and that hasn't changed today. Let's see, here's probably one of my earliest attempts at doing a comic strip. Airman is on air. Fascinating. Okay. Pete is really getting frisky. What's up, Pete? Pete is currently my oldest pet, and he's an amazing guy. Let's see, Army book. All right, oh, and it opens up. Go the Bomb. This book is good for kids. Is the book exciting? Boom. Okay, and on the back, some guy with a flag, something, I don't know what that is. It says, I don't, no, I don't, I don't. Interesting. In the time of the dinosaurs. And here are the dinosaurs whose time has come. Ghosts are good. I'm Tim the Ghost. Tim the Ghost. That must have been my version of Casper. And I vaguely remember this drawing. What do we got here? Must be a hobo of some sort. Santa Claus. And another illustration of Santa Claus. Wow. Like those 1950s looking stars. Right, Pete? The Book of Me. Let's see what's in this book. Hi, boy. The End. And look at, wow, this is amazing. 1971, and I'm predicting the Madball phenomenon that would come along, 20 years later? This is worthy of framing. Quite amazing. Amazing. All right, looks like an attempt to, the teacher must have wanted us to experiment with cloth, and so I create a fort. Forts were fascinating to me at that age. Had a Fort Apache playset. And this is apparently the zoo, where apparently they have mice. Okay, this looks like a very goth looking, depressing looking Tim Burton kind of, some maybe Robert Smith would have done as a 5-year-old. This is going to be a bunny rabbit, most certainly. Let's see what the bunny rabbit looks like. The typical bug-eyed face. It's got a little cottontail. Pete, you getting bored? Looks like I'm learning to write about the Mayflower. And folder full of garbage. That's not good. Well, a blank sheet of paper. Oh wait, it opens up. The Easter Bunny. I saw the Easter Bunny. He said that he would stay with me for 100 years. He gave me an egg every day, and that was good. That's actually pretty good. That is good. Let's see. This is probably what Walt Disney's artwork looked like before Ub Iwerks came along and helped him create Mickey Mouse. Let's see, we've got a snowball fight. That's wonderful. Old mimeograph. There are many kinds of animals, like cats. Animals are many sizes. They move in many ways, like trying to crawl into the shot. Okay. What is this going to be? Oh, an attempt at... Oh, this is when they made us finger paint. Disgusting practice. Finger painting. And here is some kind of animal that's floating or jumping. Don't ask me what. A boat. And here is Fort Apache. I had a Fort Apache playset that was given to me for Christmas about that time, so I must have been fascinated with it. It came from the Sears Wish Book catalog. A ghost. Oh, and obviously this would have been Halloween time. Very good Dracula, actually. Yeah, my early fascination with monsters. This is where it all began. My fascination with monsters that led to, later Aurora models, and about a year after that, and all the other monster insanity that has filled my life, as you see. But this is where it all began, back in the early 1970s. Families are different. They need different clothes. They need different houses. That looks like a fascinating piece. All right. That's kind of okay. Looks like a... Alright. This must be more finger painting. I remember the feel of the paint on my fingers, and I'm not sure if I liked it or not. Okay, more Easter stuff. Easter. Okay, egg power. Okay, well, I was aware at the time of hippies and their marching with their protest signs, and I think I learned about that from Mad Magazine. Another thing I was discovering about that same time, heard a few days ago that Mad Magazine is ceasing publication, but Mad Magazine was one of my earliest influences, and of course the Mad Magazine of today is not the Mad of that time. Look out, a monster attack book. Do they get away from the monster? Monster Attack. Years later, in the 90s, I would meet some people that did a public access show called Monster Attack Team. Edward Holland and Joe Riley, and I'm going to talk about them in a future video. I'm going to do a whole video about Joe Riley, who passed away about 10 years ago. And who worked with me on a public access show called The Hypnotic Eye. A story about spring. For some reason he has a 27 on his shirt. Let's see. What is this? More Easter. Hop, hop. Pretty good. Alright, we're getting to the end of my first grade artwork that was saved, African Animals. I think I'm running out of battery power, which is this is just a bunch of photocopied stuff with early handwriting attempts. An Easter egg. Pretty. Oh, there's a face on it. Okay. And Life of butterfly. Starts with the egg, caterpillar. Step 4, and then the fully formed butterfly is telling you hi. Let's see, what do we have here? A flower. Everything has that same insane face. And what will this be, Pete? Why, it's birthday time. More of that finger painting. And that's about it for the first grade art that was saved by my mother back in those old days. I sure miss my mother. Every year about this time, she passed away in 2001. I will talk to you guys very soon, and it's a wrap.